time limit. In the corner to my right, from Venice, Italy, weighing 245 pounds, the dynamic Dominic DeNucci. And his opponent in the corner to my left, from New York, weighing 250 pounds, luscious Johnny Valiant. And his manager, the great Wild Bull Curry. One fall match, 10-minute time limit.
I tell you, every time I do an interview with Bull Curry, I have to use a towel afterwards.
Well, I don't envy you on that, Chris. But right now, we're going to see a good match here between Luscious Johnny and Dominic DeNucci.
Two superstars of the world of wrestling.
That's true, and we've got the Bull up there again.
He's certainly verbose, isn't he? Huh? He has eyebrows and a mouth that will not quit.
I kind of like Bull, though, Chris.
The next interview, you can do the interview with Bull Curry.
Okay.
Bull Curry trying to distract the referee. Even though nothing's happened, yeah, it's one of his famous tactics.
We've still got the Bull up there on the apron of the ring, and I don't know how long the referee is going to tolerate that.
Here we go. Oh, that's smarts.
Johnny's going to feel that for a couple of weeks.
Bull Curry saying, come out here. I want to tell you something, Johnny. Using this time to kind of rest up. There he is telling Johnny Valiant some words, some encouragement, some things to do to make this a decisive victory against Dominic DeNucci.
Well, if you notice, Chris, Johnny got hurt on that last exchange, and being a true professional, he was able to get out of that ring and recover.
Elbow to the back of the head of Dominic DeNucci. Something has really stunned Dominic, too. Over the middle rope. Choking Dominic.
You can see the agony in
Bull
Dominic's
Curry
face
in there. A fist right to the jaw.
Right in the mouth.
There he's slapping Dominic DeNucci around.
Boy, this Bull is bad.
That's interfering, folks. I don't care what Kowalski, I don't care what Ron Shaw say. That's interference. Bull Curry, one of the masters of that, too. Fist right to the jaw. Dominic DeNucci. A kick right to the stomach. He's almost out. And Bull Curry's there waiting for him. Just when he's most vulnerable. There's Curry. Look at him. Look at that face. Look at him.
Oh, boy.
Kick to the head, the back of the head of Dominic DeNucci. He doesn't have the guts to face him in person. He's got to do it behind his back.
That's the Bull for you. Dominic's almost out on his feet.
Summoning some power up there. Side headlock.
There's the Bull.
Whoa! Bull Curry getting a little of his own medicine, but Dominic knocked out. Everybody's on the concrete. There's Dominic. Oh, no!
Oh!
Curry gets a fist right into the side of the head. Look at that, gouging the face of Dominic DeNucci.
We've lost control here now. He's got to ring that bell, just like I thought.
Look at him choking him there.
Weighing in at 235 pounds from Las Vegas, Nevada, Ted Norris. His partner weighing in at 222 pounds from Chicago, Illinois, Angelo Popo. Their opponents weighing in at 295 pounds from New York City, Crazy Luke Graham. His partner, weighing in at 240 pounds from Tampa, Florida, the Continental Lover, Eddie Mansfield.
Well, there you have it. Eddie Mansfield and Luke Graham going up against Ted Norris and Angelo Poffo. And frankly, Abner, I'll tell you, this is a main event anywhere in the country.
Oh, yes, these are international stars, 4 international stars in the ring here. Come from all corners of...
Of course, Mansfield attempted to tag out. Whoa, wait a minute.
Behind him.
Little outside interference there by Luke Graham. That almost appeared to be an illegal tag there, Abner.
I believe it was, because he was already half in the ring with 1 foot.
High knee lift right to the face of Ted Norris. Oh, now this is painful.
By the hair, this is illegal.
Front face lock being applied by Luke Graham. And Ted Norris escapes nicely and applies a hammerlock to Luke Graham.
Very good sit out into the hammerlock.
Hammerlock into a leg hold. Of course, you can see there that controversial bandage that Luke Graham seems to wear on that thumb. I see no reason for it.
Yeah, there hasn't been any legitimate explanation for the bandage. And questionable if there's something in there also. You know? Ted Norris still maintaining the hammerlock. Oh.
Of course, Norris giving away considerable size and weight to Luke Graham. Norris around 235. Tags out with Angelo Poffo. Wow. I'll tell you, this Poffo, he's just been around for so many years. And what you're seeing here, Abner, is sheer experience against experience. And look at that.
Oh, skull crush. 2 headbutts. 12 skull crushes there.
Poffo simply running Luke Graham's head right into that of Eddie Mansfield. It appears that Poffo now...
But there's a questionable. That Mansfield is holding him in the corner from behind. While Luke Graham is...
it does appear that way, that Mansfield is definitely interfering. Of course, Mansfield now coming into the ring, tagging out with Luke Graham.
Continue the punching there.
Certainly keeping Poffo tied up in the turnbuckle. Of course, this seems to be a favorite ploy of Mansfield. He tries to get an opponent tied up in the opposite part of the ring, keep him from tagging out. And an arm whip.
There we go, into the corner.
I'll tell you, that didn't work. And there you see Mansfield still laying in the corner. Poffo tagging out to Ted Norris, and Norris wanting Mansfield to get off the canvas. I'll tell you, Ted Norris unleashing some hard blows to the head of Eddie Mansfield. And,
went for the drop kick, and Mansfield held the ropes.
Yes, he did. Mansfield got out of the way just in time, and Norris came crashing down on his left arm. And head right into the turnbuckle. Tag out with Luke Graham. Of course, both of these men issuing punishment to Ted Norris. Oh, wow.
It's a right hand right to the jaw, right straight to the jaw.
Oh, I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell you, makes no bones about it, Abner. This Mansfield-Graham combination is a record one indeed. And there you see Ted Norris still tied up in the turnbuckles.
Ted, you can absorb a lot of punishment in there. Ted Norris is amazingly recovery.
Arm whips Norris into the ropes. Oh! Wow! And that clothesline, I'll tell you, that clothesline won.
Oh, he pulled him up. There's no need for that. If the man was down and beat, he should have stayed and pinned him. There's no need to...
certainly is not.
Just inflicting extra punishment.
And apparently Well, apparently, Ted Norris got over to tag out with Angelo Poffo. Now Poffo retaliating against Eddie Mansfield. Wait a minute.
What's that Luke Graham over there doing something to Ted Norris?
Apparently Luke Graham using that controversial thumb again right to the throat. And Angelo Poffo issuing medicine out to both men. Luke Graham into the ring, going up against Ted Norris. Oh!
That's that thumb. That's that thumb again.
That is 2, 3. Well, that's it.
Terry Orndorff, who's coming up in the shadow of his brother, who's a great athlete. Terry's wanting to prove his ability on his own right, and I certainly admire him for that. However, you've got a young man that's been wrestling a short time against a ring-wise veteran, and these young wrestlers know that they've got to go against these guys and try to beat them or to make a good showing against them in order to get the better matches and move up the card into the bigger money. And so, you know, this is the reason some of these matches come about. I'm sure Paul Orndorff is here somewhere and biting his fingernails right now and you know, really trying to pull for Terry, because he knows just exactly how much Terry's bitten off and going against a man that's as unscrupulous and has so much ring experience as Stasiak. Oh! And he hit the concrete. He really hit it. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back up. He didn't get a hold of a rope or the apron or anything to try to stop and break his fall. He just landed flat out here. That took a lot of fire right out of him. He better not let Stasiak build up too big a head of steam on him, or he'll never overcome it. You've got to go out there and meet that attack and stop the man's aggressive attack and get an attack of your own going. Put him on the defensive. You can't go out there and let a man build up a tremendous head of momentum against you and punish you like him. There, good move by Orndorff. That's the kind of move the youngster's going to have to make. He's going to have to use his quickness and his agility and try and upset the big man and try to get him into a 3 count or get him in a position of jeopardy where he's worried about his shoulders and he can gain the upper hand. But you see, he didn't get to follow it up. He didn't come back up on the attack, and Stasiak, being very ring-wise, is right on the attack. I think Terry Orndorff's about 210, something like that. And Stasiak looked like he's about 270. Terry was trying for a great move there, but the fact that he missed it and went ahead and tried to execute the move, Stasiak, as ring-wise as he was out of the way and waiting on him. And all Terry got out of that was the flat of Stasiak's boot, and he's back out on that floor again.
You know, Bill, Stan Stasiak is a big man, but he doesn't make any false move. He makes everything count. Rugged as though he may be, he always, when he does something, it's something that's vicious, that's really going as far as weakening his opponent.
Well, every great athlete has an economy of movement. And you find the guys that do a lot of movements to get their moves in, they get trapped in it or they miss it. Every guy, Dory Funk Jr., who was the greatest world champion, in my opinion, of all times, I used to watch his matches because I studied him to wrestle against him, and there wasn't a move he made in the ring. There wasn't a move that got him to an accomplished goal. And so Stasiak is not the fluid type wrestler, Dory Funk, or the wrestling type wrestler, but he's a rugged, brawling type. But you can see that every move he makes is taking its toll. It's taking the wind and the air and the desire out of young Terry Orndorff. And of course, like I say, it must be tremendously hard for Paul to sit by and watch this young man receive this lesson in the profession he's chosen. And every lesson you receive in professional wrestling is a lesson the hard way. And I know Stephen Little Bear is probably sitting watching this, and he's doing more than biting his nails right now. Stephen Little Bear is really upset, and as anybody that's never been around any Indians know that they're pretty stoic. They don't give a lot of comment out.